Welcome back. Vertus Podcast. Good to be back in the hosting chair. This will be twice in a row for me. Well, actually, I'm not too sure when this podcast will come out, so it might not be twice in a row for the listener, but it's twice in a row for me. Today, joined by two guests that have come down the pen link. Lachie Kennett, Jakob Barlow.
The boys.
The boys.
Good to be here.
They're nice and toasty. They're nice and warm. We've just got out of the bath. Nice little training session. Jakob hit 4 PBs in one session.
Going heavy.
Straight into the bath. Showed Kennett a thing or two.
Yeah, showed me up.
And now we've rugged up and come upstairs and we're going to talk some shit for the next hour or so. How's that sound?
Sounds good. How are you feeling though?
I was a little concerned about Kennett.
I'm actually a little bit cold. I thought I was going to have a heart attack in that ice bath. I sat down and chest got so tight. It was like literally the feeling that someone says when they feel like they're going to have a heart attack. And my hands were like vibrating.
I've seen some fucked shit in the bath in my time, like people that are like, they're almost like convulsing sort of shit, and like they don't handle it too well. But I don't think I've ever been as concerned about anyone as I was for you.
Yeah, right. That's probably not
He was playing footsies with me. He was tickling my feet and everything.
Just wanted to use the time to get a little bit close to Jakob.
We did get pretty close in that bath.
We did, yeah. Well,
No, don't. I swear.
Just on that, what are your thoughts on the experience in the bath as a whole and on ice baths as a modality for stress modulation, recovery, etc.?
I've listened to a bit of Andrew Huberman on this, and he's spoken about how using shivering or trying to relax for different sort of a stimulus from the ice bath. So I used to kind of use them for recovery and the classic, but kind of learnt that that's potentially not so optimal for recovery. But I think also like most of recovery is just, or a good chunk of it is just how you feel mentally. And I think such a benefit mentally for an ice bath that like if it makes you feel good, then go for it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I feel like there's this belief, especially the general population and like local level athletes, that like an ice bath is a tool for recovery, and like which it can be if it makes you feel good and that lets you mentally tick off a box. But for mine, it's more of a tool of stress modulation and mental well-being. Like I love nothing more than getting big groups into the, like I was saying this to Jakob before, like getting big groups into the ice bath, and it's just a big G up. Like everyone gets around each other. Someone might be struggling to get through and they're like saying, oh, I'm going to have to get out of here. And like everyone's, just so kind and so motivating to them. And then the G up and the endorphin release once you get out, like it's phenomenal. As you said, like I think the research is a little bit cloudy on whether it actually enhances recovery or not. But yeah, like recovery is 75% subjective anyway. So if it makes you feel good and you think you're recovering, then fucking so be it.
100%. Yep.
I reckon it's like the comfort zone. Like exposure to that temperature is outside a lot of people's comfort zone.
Correct.
To be exposed to that is just pushing all limits.
Yeah, absolutely.
That habit and that discipline, I think, pretty sick about it.
Like I think a lot of people like look at a big tub full of ice and think there's no way I could sit in there for 3 minutes. But then once you do that, it sort of like breaks down limiting beliefs.
It's rewarding.
And it's like, hang on, shit, what else can I do now?
It's mad.
How far can I push this?
And you get better at it. Like if I was to do that every week, I would get a lot better. But they're literally, Jakob asked me as we were getting in, like, how long's it been since you've done one? Since I've done one that cold, other than getting in the ocean, like one that's that cold would be, a few years, like probably since 2019. So I think like, because I'm not used to it as well, like, and you have it here, so you can kind of do it more often.
Yeah.
That's probably why you're better at it as well.
And it's funny saying that because I was actually talking to one of the girls downstairs, Steph, and like there was a phase where I was doing it every second day for quite a while, and I'd swear like it just didn't get easier. And I know it would over time and you'd adapt, but fuck, like I think that process is going to take a while.
Yeah. I think as well, like doing it consistently, it's not like you can probably just do it once a week. It's like the gym. Like if you just go once a week, you're not really going to get much better. But if you're doing it 3 times a week, like that's when you're going to see a benefit.
True.
You said you'd much prefer to do that, Jakob, than go into a cold shower.
I've tried the shower. I can't do it.
See, yeah, I can't do the shower.
Probably a lack of discipline, but with the shower, I can step away and it doesn't cover my whole body. Like it's kind of like...
It's unforgiving, the shower, like in the bath you can sort of be still, but where the shower's just, and same like if you're jumping in the bay or in the ocean, like the waves are just pounding you and there's no like real stillness there.
Yeah.
But for me, like I was in a phase 2021, I did like over 100 days of cold shower, like so many days that I stopped tracking it because it was just a habit.
Yeah.
and then eventually fell off that wagon. And I've decided like I'd much rather just jump in a little 3-minute ice bath here than in my shower. It's a nice little brain break for me. A nice warm shower. It's almost meditative, and it's like just my me time. It's day spa treatment. My hot showers. I look forward to them every day.
I still run every morning a cold shower, but I think for me, like, it just wakes me up, and like when I'm getting up at 5 to go to work, like it's kind of what I need. And because I don't have access to that ice bath every day, but if I was doing it for something like that stress, stress inoculation, being able to deal with stress better, I think I would probably definitely revert to something like an ice bath instead, because I feel like you're getting more of a benefit from it.
It's just harder. It just makes you feel good.
It's a bit more intense, yeah.
Yeah.
If you lock yourself into 3 minutes every day or something, like you don't have to sit in a cold shower for 3 minutes. Like, I don't do that.
I used to love starting my day with it because, like, generally that's the hardest thing you'll do all day. Ticked off, done.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good thing is doing, and that's probably another reason I do every morning is start the day with something I don't want to do.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Like making a bed.
I do that every day.
Stuff like that. And you make it a habit. Like, I've started training first thing in the morning now. Well, I've been doing that for a few months now, and it's been a game changer. Like, I was saying this on the podcast last week. Like, there's nothing better than doing something hard first thing in the morning. And for me, if I don't do it first thing, as the day drags on, my energy for shit like that just deteriorates and dwindles, and it's likely it's just not going to get done.
Yeah.
I was listening to a podcast and they talked about something like that, where the more you delay it, you're then wasting time thinking about it.
Yes.
I can't remember exactly what it was. But like, for example, you get something done like a workout or an ice bath at the start of the day, you can then forget about it and focus on things that you need to do, compared to if you were to do it in the afternoon. You're then not dreading it, but you're constantly thinking about it when you could be thinking about other things.
Yeah, this mental energy that can be directed towards work and business, which I'm sure we'll chat about a little bit later, is then wasted with this little thing that's in the back of your mind that you feel like you've got to get done.
Whereas you could just get rid of it in 3 minutes.
Tick it off
in the morning.
I struggle with that because, like I said, getting up early enough for work anyway. Like, I know you get up at like 3 a.m. to train sometimes.
Cooks me.
But yeah, you were saying like you're sometimes able to just get up and train from, like you said today, 7 till 8. Like, that'd be ideal time for me, I reckon.
Yeah, it's the dream. What's been happening in your world, boys? We'll start with Kennett. Like, what are you doing? Who are you? How'd we meet?
I am Lachie Kennett. That's my name.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, when you
last time I checked, it was.
For a split second there, I was thinking, holy shit, did I introduce these boys at the start? We've just been talking for 5 minutes and no one knows who you are.
I am a personal trainer at South Yarra Strength. Shout out. Great gym in Prahran, not even in South Yarra. That's also a bit of a prank.
False advertising.
But potentially opening up another studio back in South Yarra. They started in South Yarra, hence the name. But really good team down there. I love working there. Like, learn so much and really get along with everyone. Love all my clients there. Been there for about 9 or 10 months now, and yeah, it's really good.
What do you specialise in, or like?
Yeah,
what's an area of interest for you in the field?
Yeah, well, so I grew up playing footy and like took it pretty seriously. Kind of got to sort of semi-pro level, and so I suppose athletic development for me is like the focus there, and I'm sort of the only coach there that really does that. So that's probably a benefit for me because I can set myself apart. Whereas we're probably more of like a powerlifting based gym.
Okay, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so we're not really like all of our clients are gent pop, but like we have like a lot of we push people to do sort of a powerlifting style, or we can push them to do that, and we get a lot of people who come in who've never powerlifted in their life and then end up competing in comps and lifting really heavy weights, and it's cool. But I suppose all the other coaches there are or like most of them are powerlifting based, so to have that difference as a like athletic development is good because we can kind of market that as well and say like if you're an athlete, like we have this coach who can do this. So I suppose that's my forte there. But yeah, I also love just being able to be able to coach anyone through anything. So like developing that powerlifting side of it, which I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't go to South Yarra Strength. Like being able to coach someone to like a bodybuilding show one day would be really cool. Yeah, and then just more like in-depth health needs that people have.
So you just want to be a generalist.
Yeah,
the best
I think
generalist
have
you
the
can be.
ability to be at least, potentially then specialise in something. But yeah, that's I suppose the idea.
That's really cool that you sort of not push Gen Pop, but like you can put them down that path of powerlifting, because that just comes back to like breaking self-limiting beliefs. Because I'm sure you'd have a lot of Gen Pop walk through your door. They've never stepped foot in a gym before, seeing people clanging and banging really, really big weights, and they probably look at that and think, "Shit, I'd never be able to do that."
Yeah, 100%. And like like you walk in the door and you see like a couple of our big guys will be lifting, like 200. One of our coaches, who's not there anymore, but he was there like last year. He competed at Worlds and he lifted like 235 or 240, I don't know, something like that. It's just like you're watching it and there's like 4 red plates either side and you're like, Jesus Christ, like I could never do that. But like that's the thing, it's like people walk in the door and think that, and then they get to like 6 months down the track and they're competing in their first show, and then they end up doing like another 3 after that, and it's kind of just like a phase probably of people's lives that they'll look back on and be like, that was pretty cool.
That's it, and I guess you never really like stop and smell the roses with stuff like that. Because I take myself back to when I first walked in a gym years and years and years ago, and you see people that are deadlifting with 2 plates and sometimes 3 plates, and you're like, shit, like I'll never get there. And then the first time you lift 100 kilos, like 2 blue plates for the first time, you sort of, it's cool, but then you almost forget about it, and that's the next thing. Like, fuck, all right, we're gonna go to 3 blue plates now.
Yeah,
So true.
And you're like, and for now, like you're always comparing yourself to people that are better than you. So like I'm now deadlifting 200, but then I look at people that are like deadlifting 240 kilos, 300 kilos. Like one of my mates is over in Hartford in the UK, and he's into his strongman, and he's almost lifting 300 kilos.
Yeah.
And I compare myself to that, but sometimes you got to stop and smell the roses and look back at your journey and think of all the cool shit that you're actually doing. It's impressive.
Yeah, definitely. And like I think I was talking about this before, how like I've never benched 100 kilos and I'm like really close to it now. So it's kind of like the thing that I'm thinking about. But then once I do it, I'm probably gonna be like, oh, that was cool. Now
what's
what?
next?
And it's
105.
It's like everyone says, it's that journey of something versus the actual destination. Is the journey so much more rewarding?
JB.
Not much. About to go to Europe.
Same.
Super excited. Yeah, you're in. Where are you?
Predominantly London.
Yeah, you're in Manchester. You cold? Man,
Lockie's just whacking his big.
You go on the snow, bro.
Big Eskimo jacket back
still
on.
cold from the ice.
He's shivering.
I've actually, if you can't hear it through my mic, I'm still shivering from that ice.
I heard your voice like sort of trembling when you were. I didn't know if you were like
I
nervous.
don't know if that was me or not. I was like, oh.
I'm not about to cry. I'm just cold.
Sorry to cut you off, Jacob, but like it's actually when you get out of the bath and then back to the real world, you actually get colder. Yeah. And there's been times where I've had the sauna go and I've gone from bath to sauna, and you actually get colder, and you're in a 60-degree sauna, and you're fucking like shaking.
Yeah.
And I can't physiologically explain why that happens, but it's bizarre.
Your body's in shock.
Yeah. Sorry, what's going on in the world?
Yeah,
Jacob?
going to Europe, which is awesome. Kind of like the first trip away since finishing school and pretty much ever. Going with 4 other boys for 7 to 8 weeks. So really excited about that. I wish I could tell you what we're doing, but
Are you just like playing it by ear and
it's completely booked.
like a winging it sort of holiday?
It's completely booked. I just don't know what we're doing.
You just did none of it.
I did none of the booking. So for me, it's like a mystery Europe tour.
That's fun though.
I'm super excited.
What are you most looking forward to? Like, I know you don't have a good idea of what you're doing, but like, what's something that you want to tick off or do?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I'm just excited to have no stress or no worries and just enjoy my time over there.
Yeah.
And just see the world.
Yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
Are you doing any work remotely while you're there, or have you saved up a shitload over the past however long and
Well,
got yourself in a good position?
I have. Like, I've saved a lot over the last, 12 months. Obviously, at uni, it was quite hard living at a home in terms of that savings kind of side. But I've worked really hard in the last, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. But I'm looking at, doing a little bit of stuff over there whilst I'm there, because I will be doing a lot of traveling, in which I think I can,
Find the time to
otherwise
lean into that.
I come back and it's like I go from nothing to then
square one.
Yeah, whereas I'd rather just keep that momentum rolling.
Yeah, good.
But then finding that balance where that's not impacting my time over there, because
Yeah,
yeah.
you want to have a fun time. tell us about the last 9 months of work and like your work in the industry and what you sort of specialise or perhaps have interest in.
Yeah, so I officially graduated, when was it? February. So only, a couple of months ago.
Yep.
But so last year was my third year doing my sport and exercise science degree. I loved it. It was pretty cool. But since then, you kind of realise that uni isn't the be all and end all. I'm glad I did it though. Like, I think I could have done my cert 3-4 and still been in the same position, but like the knowledge and experience that I've got has kind of like led me to where I am.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm pretty grateful for that. Since uni, I've done soccer coaching. I've got a passion for soccer. So I've done soccer coaching, under 13 girls at a pretty high level. I don't know how I got the gig, but I learned a lot from that. That was probably like the first time I ever, I don't know.
I tell you what, it's a pretty forgiving team to have a high level role, like under 13, under 13s. Like,
Yeah. They were awesome. Like, I had the best.
like they're not really going to know if you're fucking up or...
Yeah, well,
So
that was
it's
the best
super
thing.
forgiving. Whereas my first team sport role was a Div 1 senior footy team in
Yeah.
Red Hill. Like, if you fuck up, like they're probably going to know.
And they know about,
Like,
whereas...
the pressure's there.
Yeah, I guess I had the luxury of making those mistakes and learning. And
Yeah.
in terms of my interaction with people, I'm talking to 13-year-old girls, which, I mean, you do have to be careful in that sense, but they weren't adults and they haven't had all these life experiences, so they looked up to me as if I was this god, which, I don't know, gave me a little bit of confidence in my...
That's a cool role.
Yeah, it was awesome. And
Sacred, mate.
honestly, I reckon I've probably made relationships and connections not only with the girls themselves. Like, hopefully, I see them develop and keep growing as soccer players, but like also the parents. Like, I've had opportunities that have led from there as well.
That's cool. Like, what's something that coaching role with the 13 girls has taught you? What's been your biggest takeaway from that?
I guess like group management. Further down the track, I've led small group classes, big group classes, and just being able to cater for different people's needs and stuff like that. I think that was probably one of the biggest things that I learned doing that by myself, with no real guidance in that coaching role. Because, I mean, 13, they're at different development and growth. And
just young people in general. Like, you're
it's
herding
crazy.
cattle, mate, when you're trying to organise a large group of young people.
Yeah.
Like, it's chaos. It's good chaos, and that's right. If you can master that, then you can pretty well master any group situation.
Literally.
I reckon that's such and it's such a good experience to be exposed to young people and coaching them because of how different it is to coaching. Like, you need to make, for 13-year-old girls, if you're doing things you're doing with like 25-year-old people, like, you just have to make it so much more different because they're not going to enjoy that. And
Yes.
like, you just have to make things fun, like make the warm up fun.
Absolutely.
And that's like another thing is like, not everything has to be optimal. Like, you just don't need to make them do these specific things. Just make them have fun.
That's exactly right. Like, doing 4 sets of 8 goblet squat into like whatever push-up variation. Like, it's probably what's best for them, but it's also boring as shit.
Yeah.
And like, we want to set the habit and get them enjoying their health and fitness journey so that they want to keep showing up. Like, we have a couple of young boys, we have a lot of young kids coming in, but there's 2 in particular, they're brothers, and like, if we just did that, like, they'd lose their mind. So I let them, like, instead of resting in between sets, all right, boys, shot a basketball.
Yeah.
And
You
it
have
keeps
to.
Go
them
beat each other up, whatever, then we're back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It keeps them then when they come back to do their work, they're a lot more focused and the intensity is probably going to be a lot higher.
And it's like the argument that like good training should be boring, which I totally disagree with. Like, we need to give people what they need, which sometimes may be boring, but we need to give them what they want to and give them a fun environment.
You literally read
which is
my
something
mind.
that Angus Bradley touches on. Like, let people build a good relationship with movement and with the gym, rather than just giving them what you think is optimal. And then
it's
scare them off.
it's actually very. I've never actually thought of this until now, but it's very like food. Like, if you build just an optimal relationship with food, you're probably going to end up with having a poor relationship and I don't know, whatever that leads to. But if you just like are well educated, but then you have a good relationship and you're building like that almost that enjoyable relationship with food, it's gonna be a lot healthier. And I think that's sort of goes both ways.
That's it. Anything to add on that one, Jacob?
No, I guess from the coaching, I've kind of gone down the more personal training like Kennett. Working with one-on-one clients, yeah, like I said, group as well, and then now looking at going into the online sector as well, which is really exciting. I'm super excited. There's a lot of stigma around the online coaching, but I guess after months of working hard and setting it up, I'm very confident in what I've set up. So yeah, I'm excited.
What's something about online coaching that you've changed your mind about in that little period? And like, it goes for you too, Lachie?
I used to be so against it. I used to say like, I guess COVID and lockdown was where you saw it the most because obviously people couldn't leave their homes.
Yeah, there's no choice.
I don't know. I think I saw, and the people that I was seeing online doing the online coaching, I don't know if they were like the best coaches or like qualifications or whatever, or in terms of the results. It just didn't seem like they were doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And I guess, yeah, after setting up what I'm setting up, it's like I'm so keen to...
Yeah, it's one of those things, if done well, it can be a phenomenal tool. And I was like the same. Once COVID ended, I was like, fuck online. Like, this is a relationship building business. We need to be face-to-face with people, making connections. And upon hiring Alex Sandalis as my coach in late 2021, and then having that experience as a client, I can just see how well it can be done. Like, I didn't meet him face-to-face until... only a few months back, but like it still felt like we were fucking family.
Yeah, Daddy Sard.
Daddy Sard.
Shout out.
Who we'll chat about later. We love Daddy.
Yeah, another thing that he talks about is just the value you can get for money, from being in... If you're paying for, a one-on-one PT session with someone, you're probably paying like 90, 100, 120
Easy.
bucks like per session to train with someone face-to-face. But if you're paying... like, you could be paying that 90, 100, 120 bucks a week to someone to be there, for someone to be your online coach. And you'll get like a training program, you'll get coaching from, not live, but you can video things and send it to them and they'll be able to pick up on almost everything they can in person. You get nutrition, you get I know all of us anyway, you'll get nutrition, you'll get like habit accountability. Like, it's just so much more holistic and like it'll change your life versus just going to a gym where you're just going to, pretty much probably just get a training program and a session that you do. Like, you just get so much more from it. And
the value.
Yeah. And it's a whole life thing.
It's exactly right. And like, even if coaches aren't doing online training, I think all would unanimously agree that a client's ability to reach their goal, whatever that is not just dictated by what they do in the gym. Like, that's only a very small sliver of it. The important stuff, like the big piece of the pie, is what happens on the outside, and that's what online coaching covers that face-to-face generally doesn't.
No, and usually, and what I've noticed is a lot of my clients aren't coming in, like they say they're coming in for that weight loss or they want to build muscle, but it's something else that's underlying. And I guess... deep. In person, it's hard to cover that in a 30, 45 or 60-minute session once or twice a week, whereas the online aspect, you can look at their habits, you can look at their stress levels, all that kind of stuff, and start targeting those underlying factors, which will then lead to the benefit of strength training or just being in the gym in general. That's something I've picked up.
That's a little good segue into sort of how we met. But before we get into how we met, I still don't know how you two met, because before we met, you two seemed really close. So I don't know if you've been friends for a while or like went to school together.
Why do you have goosebumps?
We just met each other like
Barlow know
each
other.
I think. Do you
want me to explain it?
Well, we met... No, that's all right, I'll do it.
Okay, you can explain.
That was another reason that I've said, like, if I had my time again, I wouldn't go to uni and I would just do my Cert 3-4, I think. But, like, things that uni have given me is, like, one of them is meeting Jakob, and we met at... What subject was it? I don't even know. One of the...
Physiology.
Yeah, something like... I don't even know. Anyway. Some
clearly
unit ticked off now.
That's the degree coming to good use.
Got in, got out, ticked the box, got that P.
Do you remember the actual first time though? Because I remember it vividly.
Yeah, no, I remember sitting in a classroom in the first or second week. I think we both missed the first week. So it was we both missed the first week of class, and it was the second week, and we were sitting in the classroom, and I remember you sitting across the other side of the room, and I was like, I don't know, you just had this like aura about you. I genuinely remember thinking this. I've never told you this.
I get told that a lot.
You had this aura about you, and like you just seemed like you were just like confident, and like you seemed like a nice guy. And I was like looking at you across the room, like, who's this bloke? And our lecturer was a triathlete. And so I was like loving the lecturer because I was doing triathlons at the time. And then I was thinking about that. And then I just like glanced over and I was just like looking at Jacob, just like studying him.
Crush on him.
But I don't know. I was just like, this bloke seems cool. And then because we both missed the first week, we went to our first prac and we were put in the same group because there was like 4 or 5 of us that have missed the first week.
Yeah.
We were put in the same group. And if that had, it's funny how like things happen. And because if that didn't happen, like, I don't know, we might not be mates.
And then I remember the first practical, we were like on Facebook. And then it was like just looking at our mutuals, and it was like, how do you know that person? And then we were like, yeah, what the heck? Like, it was pretty sick.
Yeah, because Jacob and I grew up in like probably an hour and a half away from each other in country New South Wales. So like that's how we sort of have a heap of mutuals. But yeah, it's pretty funny how things work, and like, you know, like just in one of our last units of uni, we both just like we were doing the same degree the whole time, never met, and then this one of our last units, we just become really good mates. So.
That's it. It's the absolute best icebreaker, like mutual friends, and it's seriously not what you know, but who you know, and fucking having a good network is massive. Yeah. Like, it's such a small world. Like, it was so funny, like seeing you come in here and like you knew Jazz from where was it?
From placement in like 2021. Yeah, Rise Performance.
Like, no matter where you go, like within, you know, at least Victoria, you're bound to meet someone and they're going to more than likely know someone that you know.
Yeah, especially in this
really
industry,
cool.
I reckon.
Yeah.
And especially coaches who, like, you know, like good coaches who last in the industry. There's so many people who just come in and out. I don't know, I've only been in it for a year, so I don't want to sound like I know everything, but like it's like so many, the coaches that last, like they tend to know each other. And they're a smaller group versus the people who just come in and do PT for 12 months and then piss off.
It's pivotal having a good network.
Yep.
It's awesome.
Back on the uni stuff, just quickly, because you've both sort of brought up if you had your time again, you wouldn't do it, or you didn't think it was as good as what it could have been. And I've had conversations like that where, you know, uni probably isn't the gold standard of education that you should be. What's something about uni that you're really, really glad you did? Because for me, back on the connection side of things, it was all the connections and networks that I made at uni. So, like the education, I've learnt that at my time here in Virtus and at my time in different internships and mentorships. That's where I've really learnt, and I've learnt more in those situations than I did in any classroom at uni. But it's the connections and the best friends that I made and the networks. That was the most important part about it, and I would absolutely do it all again. And the fun uni nights. But what's something about uni that you're really, really grateful for? And would you truly, if you had your time again, not do it?
I would say the opportunities. So, and it's how you take those opportunities, because I know of a lot of people that have either done my course or other courses and haven't made friends or haven't made connections at all. Myself, I'm a pretty social person. I gave myself a lot of opportunities in which I have then, it's led me to where I am today. So I'd say, like the opportunities, although uni doesn't necessarily guide you, you kind of have to step into it yourself.
You got to seek it out yourself.
And it's, without that, I think it's pretty hard, because like if you do your Cert 3-4, okay, like maybe people in your class, I'm not really sure about the whole setup and stuff, but then you go to a business pretty much straight away. You don't really get much opportunities in this field, classes, whatever it is. I'd probably say, the opportunities. I think that's probably the biggest takeaway. Yeah,
I'd tend to agree with that, and like connections. And yes, I suppose you meet, like Jacob said, you meet so many more people through classes than you would like in a Cert 3-4. I think, like, maybe if I had my time again, I probably would, still go to uni, but I probably, like, one thing I would definitely do is just start working in the industry, like, straight away. Like, if I had my time 100%, that is, like, the number one thing I would do is, and everybody literally says it, and when I was hearing people say, I was like, whatever, like, but I'm pretty sure you're still allowed to work in the industry if you're studying. I don't think you have to be...
I did.
So, like, literally, I would just get a job in a gym straight. Even if I wasn't even coaching, just get a job, like,
Just being in the
cleaning or
environment.
something. Yeah, like doing the admin, being in the environment, like
Because you know how it works and it rolls,
Yeah.
and then that's going to build confidence, and then it's not a big shock to the system once you've finished your
real
degree
world.
or something.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, I've got all this knowledge, then...
Which
okay,
is
what
why
now?
I'm so big on with your placements. Like, do placement at a fucking good joint and like learn. Or if
Learn.
you're not going to do that, like just get a job somewhere while you're in uni, and you're going to learn on the job.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, like I've learnt so much more in this last year of coaching than I learnt at all at uni. And like I look back on, I say this all the time, but like I look back on myself 12 months ago when I started coaching and getting paid for it, and like how shit I was at coaching.
Straight up.
Oh, I was so bad, but like I thought I was good at the time. But then like it's like then the like I look back at myself 2 months ago from now as well, and I was like, obviously I was better than I was 12 months ago, but I was still shit compared to what I am now, and I'll do the same in 2 months from now. Like it's just like a constant, especially in that when you start coaching, it's just like a constant cycle of like, I'm better now than I was 2 months ago, and then I'll look back on myself in 2 months' time from now and be like, oh, I was pretty shit
That's
then.
exactly right. Like I look back on everything I used to do and I cringe, and I just think, there's going to be stuff in 6 months' time that I'm going to look back on and then cringe. Like, and this was a topic that was in the podcast recently that I clipped up on Instagram. What's something that you two boys look back on in your early days as a coach and you cringe? It's vomit worthy.
I think for me, like pretty niche things, like in terms of what I've learned at South Yarra, but like things like, because I started coaching at Kooyong Tennis Club and before I got the job at South Yarra, and like just like some of the sessions I was doing, like they were okay, but like they weren't that good, and like didn't really know much about like breathing and bracing and like how to teach someone that, and like even just like I had pretty shit cues, and like I was getting caught up on a lot of like little things, and but then in terms of like something, I was watching that reel that you posted, and like something that came to mind instantly for me was like the videos that I used to post. Like the first few videos I posted, I'm never going to go back and watch them because they are so cringe.
I just remember the Prime Train one.
Oh yeah, actually that was
You called him out.
that could have been 35k views.
Mate, only the best rip on Prime Train.
Yeah, like that one got about 35k views, so that did well. Yeah, that was my most viewed video on TikTok.
Really?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
That's sick.
Go watch the video and
Done.
then go comment Prime Train's a wanker. I hope he
Poor
watches
bloke.
this.
Not going to be watching.
Nah. And then everyone tag Prime Chain below. Yeah, but like some of the videos from back in like, I don't know, like, yeah, from a year ago or whenever I made my coaching page, like, Jesus, like, they were so bad. And like, it'll probably be, again, it'll be another 12 months from now and I'll be looking back on these ones. I'm like,
looking at the stuff you posted
you
today.
noob. Yeah.
Although we got some good content today, so you won't be looking at the stuff from today.
No.
True. For me, I'd say the same, like the videos. Some of my videos, even like a couple of months ago, I'm like, why did I post that? Or like some of the stories I've done, I'm like, why? And like, I guess it's rewarding once you start seeing that. I use it as like motivation that I am getting better.
That's it. And I think it's inevitable that it's just going to be shit in the meantime. You just got to cop it.
Until you get a
just keep posting shit and you'll get better.
$10,000 camera and everything.
Yeah.
It's
Well, like you look at like Alex and he's got like a full videographer now that like, that he pays, and like, obviously he has all his own gear and then he does all the editing for Alex, and like that's obviously the gold standard, but it takes quite a while. It took him 10 years to get there. So
you don't even need that. Like you can just start with what the Virtus podcast used to be was apparently just voice memos on the iPhone, sitting around that, no video, voice memos, upload that to Spotify, done.
And I guess the thing is as well, there's no right or wrong. There's no nothing telling you, like even for us, like we don't have to be on social media.
Yep.
I guess now that we're going down the online route, we kind of have to, but we don't have to post videos every day, and we don't have to post posts or whatever. I guess we choose to do that.
And even like Ben Cant, who's a pretty prominent online coach, he doesn't post much on socials. Like, he's just a word of mouth.
But he's awesome. He's quality, and when he posts, it's quality.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah. He still has like 10k followers though. Like obviously, and that shows like how intelligent he is and how many people respect him. But yeah, like you say, he barely posts. I think something that came to mind then as well was like so many people wait for the perfect conditions to start.
Yes.
But there's never going to be the perfect conditions, so just start.
Which draws some parallels to the health and fitness journey. Like, I'm just waiting until I have more money. I'm just waiting until a better time, until work's a little bit less hectic. But it's even more reason to lean into those things.
Definitely, yep.
Got to start now.
Got to start
I
now.
literally did a post about that.
The best time to plant a tree,
Hold on.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
Next best time, right now.
that's a good one.
Did you say that?
Hey?
Did you say that?
I mean, I didn't make that up, but
did you say that?
I heard you made
Did you
that
say that in a clip?
maybe. I
I've
don't know.
heard that in the
probably
last
said that
7
on
days.
Instagram.
Yeah, maybe. I think so.
Maybe.
Yeah, I always think that with like my thing, it's like, fuck, I wish I started coaching as soon as I finished uni, and I wish I made my coaching page as soon as I finished uni, but like at least I didn't do it now, or at least I didn't do it tomorrow or a year from now. Like at least I did it when I did. So you can't like just think that. Like obviously the best time to start is now, but you know, like,
Yeah, it's a good way to fucking hate yourself just to think about what ifs, but
yeah, exactly.
yeah, and there's a lot of other what ifs that could be reversed, and it's like, well, fuck, what if I didn't start that early?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Good too.
Back on how we met, we're going to do a little bit of pumping up Alex Sandals' tyres.
Yeah.
So we chatted about how
Daddy.
you two met. How did we met? Like us, or me and you two?
I think the first time we met face to face was at Melbourne Strength Culture.
Yeah, Catabasis.
Yeah, the Catabasis workshop. Yep.
Man was squatting like 200.
Not one day.
Yeah. But I definitely heard a lot about you. I knew one of your good friends, Charlotte, through my Cert 3-4.
Shout outs. Everyone knows Charlotte here.
Charlotte
I don't know
is
Charlotte.
an absolute legend of the game.
You should know Charlotte.
And yeah, I'd heard her talk about you, and I knew that you were getting coached by Alex, and then I think that was the first time we met face to face.
And like, I think you followed me on Insta before then, and
Yeah.
just I knew your face and I knew your name, and I think it was were you at Woody's for a bit?
Yeah,
Christian
I
Woodford's?
trained at Woodford's for like 4 years.
Yeah, so I think I'd just probably seen you in the background of his videos,
Yeah, likely.
perhaps, or like in his content. But yeah, I'd known of you for a while. It was the first time I met Jakob, and I got to agree on this aura thing. Like he just had just the way he carried himself, very confident man, well spoken, and it was something I just still do really respect about you.
Yeah, thank you.
That was the first time we met, correct?
Yeah. First time, and then you were just everywhere after that. I remember.
Can't escape him.
Totem everywhere.
That's actually a good
Literally.
point. Yeah.
I literally, everyone talks about all these people in the industry, and I think I've only just honestly come into the industry in the last 6 months and really starting to know all these names. Like, who's that guy that Alex just did the podcast with?
Eugene.
Eugene. I've never heard of Eugene. So there's so many people that I like have never heard of. But yeah, after I met you, it just blew up. Like I just felt like you were everywhere.
It's a good little community. The strength and conditioning and health and fitness.
It's awesome.
world.
It's
Yeah.
honestly awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's right. It's like the car analogy. Like you get a car, you buy a new car, and then all of a sudden you start seeing that car everywhere. Like when I got
That
my
is so
territory down
true.
there, all of a sudden I'm seeing black territories pop up everywhere.
Or it's like as soon as you want something,
Yeah.
it just as soon as you start thinking about it, but it just makes you realize that it's always there. But it's unless you start
Yeah.
and acknowledge that thing, it's okay.
You don't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then were you always then doing, I don't know how long after that we started doing Alex's business mentorship.
Yeah, it would have only been a couple of months, and we did the mentorship.
Yeah, I think that was actually the day that he pitched Trinity to me.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the business mentorship we started obviously before that. But yeah,
Before what?
before Trinity.
Yeah.
what is Trinity? For those that don't know,
Fuck, I don't even know. Trinity.
if someone
Don't
asked
tell
me
them
to give
too
it,
much.
if
Yeah,
someone
I don't
asked
even
me to
know.
give an
Tell them too
elevator
much.
pitch of Trinity, I'd actually go blank.
Yeah, I just feel like just go on strengthofsard.com.
It's-
That's probably your best bet.
strengthofsard.com/Trinity.
Yeah.
It's literally everything.
Yeah, it's just how to become Alex.
So it's a mentorship.
It's essentially a mentorship that involves I don't know, the Trinity is like 3 parts. I can't even think of them off the
It's
top of
like
my
congruence, competence,
Yeah.
and confidence.
You've been doing your homework.
I think.
Yeah.
I could be very wrong, but
You have that.
I think it was
on the
3
front of your
Cs.
hand, don't you?
tattooed on me.
Yeah. And it's essentially a 12-month mentorship and just teaching us basically everything he knows and giving us every resource he has. And it's bloody amazing. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we've only just started, but like, just the value that I can see in it is, and it's the one word that comes to mind for it is going to be life changing.
Yeah.
And I think that's a similar thing to what everyone's sort of, the 10 of us that are doing it have sort of seen in it.
We've only had one face-to-face intensive, and I said to Alex straight after, I'm like, mate, like the deposits just pay for itself in that weekend, and there's still another 12 months to go.
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, it's essentially like an all-encompassing business development, coach development.
Yeah.
There's like some biochemistry stuff. There's strength and conditioning, athlete development, like everything.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah, and
How to deal with complex
like
psychological
psychology
problems.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Crazy.
nutrition stuff, which I think the psychology and the nutrition side of it are two things that I'm really excited for, because I feel like, I don't know, I'm competent enough now. Like, obviously I'm going to get better, but I think I'm competent enough now to coach and program and do all that side of it. And you know, I've done some online coaching, so like I've got like the sort of how to conduct a check-in roughly down pat and that side of it. But the side that I think Alex is really ahead of everyone else on, and you know, just like your average online coach, is that psychology side of it. And he said recently, like, he's pretty much just become a psychologist now to a lot of his clients, and he's doing some like psychology work with a psychologist so he can get better at providing that side of coaching to his clients, which obviously just like goes to show like how dedicated he is to that thing. But I think the other thing he's really good at is that like gut health and like it's really like kind of like things like, you know, blood work and stuff like that, which is like the more in-depth things is what I'm really excited for.
Yeah, and that's one thing I really respect about him is how much he invests in his own education and upskilling. Like, he practices what he preaches.
You need to.
What was the thing that sort of before you started Trinity, like, just drew you to Alex? Because like, did you both start coaching with him, or you coached by him?
Yeah, I've had a bit of coaching from him.
What sort of drew you to him as a client?
I think just how, I think, he was teaching my Cert 3-4. I've actually done 2 intakes of that under him, just because I joined one and then I couldn't start that intake, but then footy season finished, and so that was the reason I couldn't do it. And so then he was like, we'll just come down for the last half of it, and then your actual intake can be the next one. So I've pretty much done like, you know, like over 1.5 intakes of a Cert 3-4 with him. And through that whole time, like, he was sort of just like, the wisdom he has and the knowledge he has is just so great that I almost felt like I couldn't not get coached by him. And yeah, just like, he just knew the answers to everything. And like, he really, really helped me in terms of like not so much the training side of it, but all the other side of it, like the nutrition and the hydration and the habits and all that kind of, and all the really technical things for my triathlon, and like really helped me out there. So I think that was sort of the big benefit I got out of it. And I'm restarting coaching with him this week. So pretty excited to get kind of that side of it back down pat.
What's Jakob, because you haven't known Alex as long.
No, first time I met him was at the Catabasis.
What were like your first impressions of Alex then, and what sort of drew you to Trinity?
I don't know. I guess it's his confidence in the room. Like, when he's there and his presence, everyone kind of just like stops and listens, or stops and looks, or that kind of thing.
I tell you what, and like, speaking of having an aura about it, like,
yeah,
that man literally has an aura. And I feel like that's like part of like the psychology thing that like he's probably going to teach us is, you know, and that confidence is like, that's probably why he gets so many clients, because he just portrays that confidence and has the confidence, and people think, I can trust this guy.
Yeah, literally.
The way he carries himself and the way he talks. I did a few workshops at Woody's back in the day, like 2017, like long time ago, and Alex was maybe interning or maybe he was working there at the time, I'm not too sure, but then followed his socials, and just the way he carried himself on socials and the way he talked. I actually thought he was a bit of a strange cat, but I loved that. I loved that he had the confidence to just be himself.
Yeah.
And I couldn't look away, and sort of followed his journey from 2017 up until now. And yeah, I just really, really respect the way he carries himself, and yeah, that aura. Incredible.
100%.
Something I hope to emulate.
Yeah, yep, definitely.
Fingers crossed.
You got your phone handy, Kennett?
I do.
Oh, you're in trouble.
I don't even know where it is out there.
While we're getting up these viewer questions, favourite thing about, like, we're fucking pumping up Alex Sandals' head, but one last thing before we move on. Favourite thing about Alex Sandals and best takeaway from your time with him? I guess I'm spending so much time on Sard just because he's the reason we're here right now.
Got the shirt on.
Yeah, represent.
I think For me, he's literally just become like almost like not a father to me.
Daddy
Sard.
Sard.
Genuinely
Literal
just
Daddy
like,
Sard.
like such a mentor to me, and like the number one mentor. It's like almost like an older brother kind of situation where, like, not taking away from my older brother, but like, literally like he's just gonna be that guy that's gonna change my life, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the same. Like, in terms of a mentor, he's kind of like ticks all the boxes, and possesses the traits that I aspire to one day uphold. Yeah, for me, I think that's it.
He's really shifted a lot of beliefs that I've once held, and like really improved my relationship with food of all things, which I might get into a little later because I'm looking at one of the questions here. What's one thing you've changed your mind over the past year? So that's something I'll chat about in that. He's shifted a lot of beliefs in me that have ultimately put me on a really, really good path.
I think shifting beliefs, and that's something he's touched on, but if you are looking for a mentor, whether it's within the industry that we're in or anything at all, I think you need to have a mentor that does shift those beliefs. I think that's the purpose of a mentor.
If they need shifting.
Love it. Well, we've spent a good 15 minutes at least kissing Daddy Sard's ass, which we love. He deserves his ass to be kissed.
That should be a bit of a discount there off something.
Yeah, Daddy Sard, hit us up.
Give us a free
$50
shirt,
reward.
give one of those.
I want the green one.
Yeah, the car.
They're sick.
Please.
Strength of Sard on Instagram for those that don't know Alex, or strengthofsard.com to look at his coaching services.
Or just follow us, because no doubt he'll be around.
That's it. Viewer question time. Got a lot from J-Hole Miletti.
Shout out Jeremy Borsello.
He followed me the other day. I see him everywhere now. I see him everywhere.
He's one of the great men of the industry.
Isn't he?
Just a genuine human.
He was interning when I was doing my 2019 workshop at Woody's. It's been good to sort of follow him and see his growth from quiet intern to really, really good coach.
I was training at Woodford's when he started coaching there, and I was literally talking to one of the girls I work with today who knows him, and like I was saying, like when he first started, he was so shy, so just like he was barely giving me any cues. Like, I don't want to say shit coach, but compared to like what he is now, like, and he's just so like much more confident and like a really good coach, like coaches athletic development, powerlifting, like obviously like Gem Pop, like, and he's just like really, and he's just such a nice guy as well. Like, if you hate Brick, like, I don't know what's wrong with you.
Yeah, he's one, and not that I've had
killed your family.
Not that I've had too much to do with him. This is a PG rated podcast.
Oh, mate.
But yeah, he's one of those people that's almost impossible to dislike.
Yeah.
First question from J-Hole. What are your training goals over the next year, and what are you trying to achieve?
I've never tracked calories, or done like a bulk or lifted like heavy and followed like a very, very structured program. I've trained. I've only recently got into like the gym stuff, probably just before uni, so just over 3 years.
Yep.
For me, I'm probably looking over the next 12 months, especially after I get back from Europe. I don't know how the body's going to be in terms of shape wise, but going through like a properly structured, I don't know, program, whether I do like a little bit of a good bulk and put some good weight on, but I'm looking to do that with a coach, just for that accountability as well.
And like the things that eating more food do for your performance goals as well, like it's almost like unspoken, and it should be spoken about more, because we always correlate being in a surplus and eating more to putting on weight and muscle, but and then it makes sense. But what that does for your performance in the gym, it's fucking mind blowing. And a lot of the big PRs that I've ticked off in recent times have been, I'd almost say, directly due to the fact that I'm just eating more food.
Yeah.
Okay.
So playing footy this year after about a 12-month hiatus, and so at the moment just loving playing footy and obviously training for that, and enjoying just having more fun with that. I think at the end of this year I'm going to do a powerlifting comp, which I won't have long to train for, but it'll be more so just to get that exposure to it, so I have more confidence coaching. At the moment, we've got an in-house powerlifting comp at South Yarra Strength on the 20th of May, and all the coaches have got clients doing it. So coaching through that, and that'll be obviously is pretty nervous for me because all I've done is gone and watched one and been exposed to a bit in the gym. But yeah, it's a bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but it'll be really good for my development. But I think doing one like we were talking about on the gym floor, like if I've done one, it'll make it so much easier to coach someone through.
Yeah, practicing what you preach. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's a big belief I have, and it's part of the reason why I'm in such a heavy surplus at the moment and trying to put on such a big amount of weight is that because I will no doubt hopefully one day I'm coaching someone that wants to do the same and put on a heap of weight or lose weight and whatever. So I want to feel what they feel when they're eating excess of 3,500 calories and know the struggles that come along with that. Same when you're in a heavy deficit. Not that I haven't had a deficit phase yet, but when I no doubt get to that, I want to know what that feels like to be on restricted calories just so I can provide as much wisdom and help to my client as possible. I'd love to do a powerlifting comp one day so I can know those struggles. Yeah. Like we were saying on the gym floor, I'm not overly confident with coaching Olympic lifts because it's not something I've really done myself. So I want to go and get an Olympic lifting coach and really lean into that so I can provide value to my clients. The Dunning-Kruger effect, I think the man Alex shared this the other day. Like, I don't think the Dunning-Kruger effect is real. Like, maybe you're not doubting yourself. Maybe you actually just do have really, really shit knowledge at the thing you're trying to teach, and that's why you're not confident. The reason I'm not confident at coaching Olympic lifts isn't because I'm doubting myself. It's because I actually know fuck all about coaching Olympic lifts.
True.
I think exposing yourself to, as a coach, exposing to yourself to as many different modalities of training as you can is huge for your development. And yeah, like you say, being able to coach someone like now I've done a triathlon, I've done endurance events, and I want to do it in the future. But now that I've done one, like I reckon I can competently coach someone through a prep for a half Ironman or a full Ironman or a marathon or whatever they want to do, because I've had that exposure myself and I've been through the process, and you can most things you can just rinse and repeat.
Copy and paste.
Yeah. And I think clients want to see their coach practicing what they preach. If they see like they're hiring you and I can see that you've done a triathlon, they're going to want to be coached by you. Like a soccer player is going to want to be coached by you because that's what you've had a lot of experience at.
I had a client. They used to tell me every time I posted like or stories or videos of myself training or like struggling when I'm lifting or something like that. They used to love it because I think our clients or people that watch us think we're gods and we can lift all this weight and we're professionals in terms of the performance, but we're human.
It humanises you.
Yeah.
Any more on that?
Huh?
Any more to add on that?
No, I think that was...
Well then, what is something that you've changed your mind on over the past year? Training or nutrition? From J-Hole again.
J-Hole.
Providing. I said before that ice baths is definitely actually something I've changed my mind on, and I did a post on this, and I literally said just because a coach has changed their mind on a topic over the last few years doesn't mean that it takes any credibility away from. That's essentially the essence of the post. And like for me, that's something like that is ice baths and icing, and that around recovery versus allowing a bit of inflammation and, like using heat or something instead, and using blood flow, using movement as medicine versus restricting movement and restricting that blood flow. So yeah, I think for recovery and things, ice baths is probably that main thing that comes to mind for me.
Yeah, I guess the last 12 months, I always wanted to go, just because of my sporting background, I always wanted to go down that athlete route. Little did I realise everyone's an athlete. Similar to the setup you guys have here in terms of you have an athlete development program, but it's for everyone, not just athletes. So I guess from that, I've taken a different route in terms of not wanting to necessarily work with... My main passion, honestly, is with the Gen Pop people.
Yeah.
I find that's where I'm my best coach, like my best self. And that's what I enjoy most, like dealing with the everyday people who have the everyday problems.
And the challenges that they face. And
I love it.
Seriously, unless you are coaching at a proper elite level of sport where it is their full-time job,
Yep.
then even the athletes that you're coaching, their general
Gen
population.
Pop.
Yep.
They're all Gen Pop.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And-
And obviously they might need a bit more athletic development based stuff, but yeah, you still have to manage their life stresses where in a football club where you know, it's their full-time job. They've got everything managed for them and they're basically babied to have no life stresses outside of their sport because the club wants them performing at their best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think actually one that I just thought of that's a really important one is just, and I know you definitely agree with this, is like optimal and like what is optimal, like something that I was always like so obsessive with my footy because I was never like naturally talented and always had to work really hard. So I made sure everything was like down pat and perfect. And I think that carried over a little bit when I started coaching and I thought, right, well, this is doing this. So then I've got to do this as well. And then I can't do this here. And like, I was thinking everything had to be really like specifically optimal and, you know, whether it was training or nutrition or, you know, what days you train or your habits or what time you go on to bed and then recovery and things like that. But like you say, like the Gen Pop, like it's not, training is just like a something that they do to keep themselves mentally and physically happy and able. And so I think, I suppose optimal training is never, for most 99% of people, is never going to happen.
Like, I think we've all had an optimal phase. And I think why we now beat up on optimal so much is because we've been through that phase and then you have your belief shift and you realise how unnecessary it is and then you almost like get angry at yourself and the whole optimal movement and we just start beating up on it as correct. Like, it's completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Do you have one for that?
Yeah, and mine's probably optimal in regards to nutrition. I was in a big phase, late 2020, pretty much all of 2021, before I started working with Alex, where I thought I had to be eating like all organic grass-fed and,
Really?
and veg and fruit, and like it was almost like orthorexia, mate.
Yeah.
It was because I had some like bad skin and gut stuff going on at the time, so I thought, all right, to reduce that sort of inflammatory load and the burden on my gut, like I've just got to eat all organic. Organic fruit and veg, grass-fed beef, no like fucking gut irritants, no gluten, like.
Yeah.
And then I went on a 3-month like cleanse where it was only organic fruit and veg. Actually, no fruit. It was no sugar, no carbs. So it was only organic veg, grass-fed meat and fish. Not grass-fed.
Grass-fed
fish. Not
fish.
grass-fed fish.
What fish are you eating?
Only wild caught fish, grass-fed beef. Did that for 3 months, and my skin and everything was just in a worse state. And,
Okay.
and that's when I started working with Alex, and then we found that stress was a big key to the puzzle for me. And then made some good gains, and then lockdown ended because that was a big catalyst in me doing this cleanse. Well, it's like, well, I'm locked down. I've just moved to Mornington.
Yeah.
Don't really know anyone here other than my work colleagues. I've got nothing else to do. Might as well just do this cleanse. I'm not going to be missing out on anything.
Yeah.
And then, as soon as lockdown finished and like that first night it opened up, I went out, drank, eating pizza, shit food, and then within a week, skin had calmed down, gut stuff, like everything was sort of like on the improve. And it's like, fuck, I've just spent 3 months like doing what I thought was optimal nutrition for my symptoms at the time, and now I'm like flipping that on its head,
Yeah.
and I'm
Getting better.
improving.
Complete
So
opposite.
stress was a huge,
crazy.
like, and that could have been the stress from being in lockdown and being isolated from my friends and family, and also what I think was a huge piece of the puzzle, stress from having to fucking dial in on this shitty nutritional protocol that I was on.
Yeah.
When you had no joy in your life anyway because you were locked inside your house.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I was depressed at that. Fucking absolutely wouldn't say I was depressed at that time, but I certainly wasn't having fun and
Yeah,
laughing
yeah.
and smiling every day. That's for sure.
Was there anything in particular that you did to reduce the stress that like you think back and you go like A, B, and C, that was the things that I did?
It was just enjoying all foods and just like, because I would, back before I did the cleanse, I would eat something like a pizza or something with some gluten or whatever and think, oh fuck, this is going to make my skin fucking flare up, and I'd stress about eating it, and then I'd be like fucking constantly like looking in the mirror and seeing how like if I'm flaring up or not. And I think, so like just stopping the obsession with my symptoms and with what I'm eating was just the big thing.
Psychologically?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
Mentally, yeah, that's crazy.
And now it's the same thing. Like skin's random, man. There are so many like factors, but
Do you reckon that was the number one thing that Alex fixed up was the
Oh
stress.
yeah. Stress and just the relationship with food. Like I'm eating fucking gluten pretty much every day now.
Yeah.
Did that take a while, like that process?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah, it wasn't
obviously
a
it's
quick
not a
fix.
short-term fix where people
Yeah.
do have all these problems, whether it is skin or something else, and it's like I want it done straight away. Whereas
Yeah,
you kind of have to grind
I
it
reckon
out.
if
a
I
bit.
looked back on old check-in notes and notes in my tracker from late 2021, there'd be a lot of like sort of struggles in there and regressions and ebbs and flows. But yeah, ultimately the graph's sort of trending up.
That's the journey, though. You gotta go down and you gotta come up.
There's gonna be ups and downs.
And it's going to take time.
Funny Jeremy Buzillo comment here. Huge potty, lots of strength by SARD operators, which we love.
Yeah, well, he hasn't
JL.
enough pumping up.
Jack Reedy.
Reedy.
What are each of your definitions of success in your life?
I think for me, what will make me feel success in life is helping people and seeing, and that's something I love about coaching so much at the moment, is like seeing people, how happy people get when they improve. And I think that's where, when I can impact someone's life so much more than just with training, with when I have online coaching, like it's just going to go to a whole nother level of like, and at the end of the day, like most coaches, I feel like deep down, that's all they really want is like, and that's why they love the industry, is because they love seeing people, like improve and how happy that makes them. I mean, the good ones anyway, like, well, but there's people out there who would just want,
They don't care.
Yeah. And
Another
don't really care
transaction.
about their clients. And so, yeah, I don't know, just for me, like seeing how happy people can get when you genuinely transform their life and solve a problem for them or solve 10 problems. And yeah, it's really motivating and really empowering to sort of keep going and getting better and being able to solve more and more issues.
How do you go with accepting gratitude and compliments? I'm bad with it.
It's fun. My housemate is so bad at like getting like presents and things. He like can't open them in front of people. And, but like I'm fine. Like I if someone says like, oh my God, like you fixed me, so I like genuinely just like smile and like I love it. It's like it's so good.
Yeah. I've had a lot of experiences and encounters with especially parents of young people that I've coached, and like they're so grateful for the work I've done with them. And I don't do well with getting compliments. And like there's a lot of older clients on the gym floor that give me a lot of love and look after me a lot, and it's like, fuck, I'm not deserving of your love.
Yeah.
JV?
In terms of success as a career, definitely that aspect. But I think success individually as well, I think just being content. For me, life's fucking crazy, and for me to be actually successful in who I am as a person is that contentment. And it is broad and it's not very specific, but I think you kind of know when you are content. For me, definitely the last 12 months, I'm starting to become more content than I have ever been before. So I'm starting to be a little bit more successful in that individual aspect of myself.
Love it. And mine's very similar to you too. Like I just want to, if I'm living a life that's aligned with my values, then I'm successful, and that is health, time, and people. So I want to make health-based decisions for myself and set a good example for the people that I coach and the people that are close to me. Freedom of time, so that I can spend it with the people who are my third value that I love, and the people that I'm coaching, and I can give my all to them as well. If I'm ticking those three things off, then that's a really successful life for me. Like, I know, it's just all about experiences for me. I want to experience as much as I absolutely possibly can.
Definitely. I think
with the people that you want to do it with.
I think that another word that comes to mind for me is freedom, like, and having, whether that's like time or money or whatever it is, like, and those two definitely play into each other. Is if you can make more money, then you can have more time, and usually when you're working or whatever, you're trading one of them. And like for me, it's being kind of probably taking a bit of both your points there, but like living in a place that makes me feel content and happy and free, and being able to wake up and do the things that I want to do. And obviously, until you retire, you're never going to be able to stop working, but it's just like you say, just being able to do the things you want to do at the times you want to do them, and I don't know, wake up and go for a swim in the beach and then come back and have a coffee and then, you know, start working or whatever. And like, that would just be like such a, if you could do that, if I could do that every morning, I'd just be content.
Yeah, I'm 100 meters from the beach and I need to be doing that shit.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you think of.
As if you're not.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, the weather's not ideal, to be honest.
Mate,
Well, you get in the ice bath, mate. The beach wouldn't be as cold as that.
Oh, my heart. Oh, I'm going to have a heart attack.
I was having a heart attack.
I thought you were going to die.
I thought I was going to die.
I was scared for you.
I was like, if my chest keeps tightening, something's going to happen here.
Did you feel like you were panicking?
I don't know. Like, nah. Like I felt like I was in control.
Yeah.
But like, my hands just kept vibrating more and more and more, and my chest just kept getting tighter. And
It's uncomfortable,
like the
hey?
last 10 seconds. Yeah, I need to do it more.
Yeah.
It's almost like a tipping point. If you can get past like the 3-minute mark, then
Yeah.
you're right. And everything just sort of goes numb, and it's like, I can push this for another couple.
Yeah. I think if I had have kept going to that 4th minute with Jakob, it would have been fine. But like, I was just like, yeah, I was freaking out.
And I think it's a good opportunity to just be, as you said, like, being present.
Oh mate, it's my stillness. Like you're not thinking about anything else other than trying not to die and freeze.
So, but I think that was the problem. Because
Yeah, you
you were talking a bit and like
freeze.
freaking out, like my chest, like
Yeah.
you were thinking about it.
Yeah.
I literally got in there and my first 30 seconds, like I thought I was going to get out. Like it was uncomfortable. And then I just like controlled my breathing, not even thinking about it, but just like sitting there and being present.
Yeah.
I think I was breathing too hard. I was going,
Yeah, you were going nut. We'll clip this up and post it. Like,
yeah. I thought that was going to help. And then, yeah, I should just relax.
Wim
You were
Hof.
telling me to relax. And yeah. We can get Jacob to that at the end. That can be the closing scene.
No
Jacob,
way.
What's it called?
I don't know. I've
Do
just
you know
seen
that?
it.
Was it?
oh, he gets in a horse pose.
Horse.
Come on,
And
Charles.
then
Come
he
on,
just
Charles.
Does these ones. I'll do it at the end.
We'll get all at the same time.
Yes.
Oh, in sync.
Chief that shit. I was going to say something. I've lost my train of thought. Too busy talking about Daddy Win.
I love it.
Right, it's going to come back to me. We do have one more question. BTV reflections.
Oh.
Who performed? This is from Coxie.
Coxie.
Shout out Jason.
I was actually at BTV as well, and he just wants to know who performed better.
Were you there?
Yeah, I didn't see you two there though, but
No.
I would have known you both and known your faces enough that if I did see you, I would have gone.
Yeah.
"Fucking-"
Yeah. I would have lost it.
Yeah.
Mate, well, you can be included. Well, I suppose me versus Jacob. That's
Come on.
what we-
Did you go together?
Nah.
Nah, but so Jacob and I were like peak, like early friendship then, and or like no, we've probably been mates for a while, but like I wouldn't say we're as close then as we are now.
No.
But like we were kind of like talking about it so much. We're like, oh, can't wait for BTV. It's gonna be so fun. And then we literally like you came over to our camps were so far from each other, but you came to my camp once, and then we were drinking for a bit there, and then we went back to your camp, and then I don't even know what happened there. But then
I know what happened.
oh, okay, hero.
I know what happened.
And then on the last night, I just saw Jacob like out. We were just walking from like the main stage to whatever the second one was, and Jacob, I just heard. I think you like yelled my name out,
Yeah.
and like I just looked over, and it was him, just like. And he was just in all sorts, like he's like, what was it? Your knee was or your ankle?
No, I felt as though my
This that bursitis
My-
flaring up again.
no, my calf. It felt as though my calf had detached from where it was meant to be attached. I couldn't walk. I was
The
Gornsky.
amount of laps I did of that festival ground.
Yeah.
How many steps were you clocking up a day?
Oh, like too many. Like I had my Garmin on as well, and like I was doing like it would have been a good like 30,000
Yeah,
steps.
30,
at least.
I think
40.
35 was my biggest day.
Yeah. But like, and then I think like the problem with BTV is like there's no, even if there's good service, like it's so slow because there's so many people there. And so I was like texting you, and just like 10 minutes later it would come through and we'd be talking about which doof stick we're near.
Yeah.
And then like I'd be like, oh, I'm near this one. And then 10 minutes later you get the text and be like, oh, I'm near this one. Then 10 minutes later I'd get the text and look for it and go find it, and you wouldn't be there anymore. Yeah. It was just like, I don't know, it was chaos.
But you have to answer the question.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say, so back to the question.
Oh, who performed better?
Who performed better?
Well, I don't know if we have a good enough indicator, but
Okay, wait. I've got an argument.
okay.
You were there for 3 days.
Yeah, and you were there for 4.
I was there for 4 days.
Was the first day worth it though?
It was awesome. I loved
Yeah.
it.
I don't know, but maybe I went harder in those 3 days.
Mate, you were all sorts. You were just running around. You just... Oh, I wish I could get into the specifics.
Specifics. We'll leave that for another day.
What was your like favorite moment or favorite couple of moments, favorite act, whatever? Your highest serotonin moments of Beyond the Valley.
The Stum's set was sick, and I was with like a couple of my best mates. It was in the middle of the day, and like we were just like a little bit drunk, and like I don't even know. No, I don't even think we drank anything, but it was just like awesome. It was like nice weather. We were just standing in the mosh pit, and just like it was elite. What was another really good one?
Laura King was sick.
I don't think I saw Laura King. Oh no, actually no. Number one by far was like, what was it? Nelly Furtado.
Oh mate,
My housemate and I are obsessed with like that kind of music, like the 2000s music, and like when that went on, like we were just, it was like again like all just like my best mates, like it was just like the most unreal situation ever. And then into Dom Dollar, and I don't love Dom Dollar's music, but like that set was
He was
insane.
he
and
took
like,
the piss.
yeah, it was so good, and like that probably it was probably over the 2 hours that those two were playing, like it was just like serotonin peaking.
Yeah. He took the piss and he went half an hour overtime. So that was like
Yeah.
2 hours.
Oh, did he?
That's fucking work to be standing there dancing
Yeah.
for that long.
Yeah, it was so loud as well. After that, like I was just like couldn't hear a thing. But
How bad is the week after? Going back to reality.
I'll tell you what, I actually wasn't too bad. And like I've had big festivals in the past
Yeah.
where I felt that, but I meal prepped and made sure I had like
See,
I
that's-
packed my sardines and shit and had my boiled eggs and my salmon and I
Yeah.
got a heap of nutrients into me while I was there.
Yeah.
Fucking I don't think I drank water. I drank Hydrolite the whole time, so
Yeah.
technically water, but
I was
pretty well fine afterwards.
I got back obviously on the 1st, and then I left for America for 7 weeks on the 5th, and so I had like 4 days, and I didn't even want to go to America. I wasn't even looking forward to America for like until I was at the airport. The whole time between BTV and when I left, like I just wanted to go back to BTV, and like I know you were saying the same. All my mates were saying the same. We were just like, just take me back. Like it was actually a great like festival, and we were considering not even going.
It's just because like no one, when you're there, like when you're at a festival, no one cares.
And that's and this is back on that freedom and liberty chat. Like it's they're a different world.
yeah, it's you can be yourself. You can do whatever you want.
Truly, there's just no rules.
Yeah, and
Literally.
no one's gonna remember it. Like if you do something stupid.
You can, but you not defined stupid, but you can do
Yeah.
stupid stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about you? What was your favourite?
I'm quite the same. Like, well, actually, Patrick Topping on night 2, my night 1
that was sick.
phenomenal. I quite enjoyed Nelly Furtado and then into Patrick Topping because like we had quite a big group, but we were pretty split up for the whole festival, and then there were some of them that only got there on like the very last day, so we're pretty well split up and never all together at one time. But like on that night, on that set, or those 2 sets, like all 20 of us, just our big group, and there's a lot of love in the air. It's just awesome.
Mate, so good. And like
Phenomenal.
when New Year's just clicks over, and like you just like it's genuinely just like so much like happiness and like
It's pure happiness when it
Yeah.
rushes through your body. It's
Yeah.
like, you can't describe it. It's fucking sick.
so good.
What a time. But,
Good times.
Coaches that practice what they preach here. We're allowed to have a fun time.
I know.
80,
You have
20
to
away.
balance,
Exactly.
balance. All about
There's no
balance.
point living.
What'd you say?
There's no point living if you're not gonna have fun.
And we're going to end on that. There's no point
Yeah.
living from Lachie Kennett.
Don't live. Just there's no point.
Is there anything else you want to add before we sign off? We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes now. We've been going well.
No, I just love Ver's performance. Absolutely.
Yeah, what are your thoughts
sick
on the joint?
gym.
Good to get you finally down here. We've been talking about it for a while.
I love this gym. It is so cool. Like
Like, look at this. Like,
yeah, just this is your podcast room.
This is mad.
They've literally got Jake and I were joking about it. They literally have everything. Like I was like, "Oh, Tyler, have you got this?" He was like, "Yep."
Yeah, off he went.
Like they have ice bath. They have a sick gym set up. There's a ath track 100 meters that way. There's a footy field and a soccer field just out the back of the place, and they have a door onto that. Like
And they have dogs running around that are
dogs
cute
running around. They
as.
have a basketball hoop. Like they have a fridge stocked full of Rockaby Farms, go-to drink, like recovery stuff, like a sauna, compression boots, obviously the ice bath, like
Physio, exercise phys. Yeah.
Nutrition, like it's genuinely a great, and like everyone here is like
Team's
the
awesome.
Team is like awesome as well. Yeah, I love it.
It's very like a welcoming space, and it's not.
It's what we strive for. Like,
Credit to you.
Yeah, about creating an environment where people want to show up, which is half the battle. Like showing up and having a good relationship with health and fitness. Like that's
if I was
what we
coming here
strive
every
for.
day, I'd be bursting out of my skin to get here to train. Like it's just awesome, and that's like something that I suppose you strive. Like every gym strives to create is somewhere where people can't wait to turn up to.
That's it. Yeah, it's a nice place for me to come and do work, and I could imagine it's a nice place to come and train as well.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to chat about? Any closing topics? Tell the world about yourself, where they can find you. Closing spiel.
Barlow Coaching. You can look me up. You got to type it in the URL though, barlowcoaching.com. If you search up in Google, it doesn't come up yet. I don't know why.
You got to do that SEO optimization, man.
Maybe. I got to get on top of it. Instagram, TikTok.
All Barlow Coaching.
Barlow Coaching.
Yep.
Yeah. Long story to get to that name, but I'll save that for another day.
It's pretty tough, mate. Your last name and coaching.
Mate, I had 4 different names, and then I accidentally bought the domain from the wrong domain, so then I had to change and buy another domain. Oh, it was a shit show. Shit show. So I'm with Barlow Coaching, and it's stuck, and I like it. You still call me JBSC or something.
Yeah, that's your name I got used to. So
JBSC.
Yeah, shout out.
Kennett, where can the people find you?
Coach_Kennett, KENNETT. It's not one N and it's not one T. 2 N's, 2 T's. That's Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I feel like they're the only 2 important ones now. Anyway.
Yeah. Hey, don't sleep on LinkedIn.
True. I was looking at that. I need to get on top of it.
Yeah.
For my corporate stuff,
true. It'd be good for you. And then CoachKennett.com. Type it into the URL and book in for some coaching.
Yeah, baby.
And watch this space.
Yeah, watch this
space.
Watch this space. There could be this, but with you soon.
Don't give away too much.
I'm keen to be in the
receiving
the non-host chair.
The hot seat. You'll be
the hot seat. That's the one.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to that.
That could be coming soon.
Yeah. What does the next few months look like before we close off? Like goals, ambitions. What do we hope to tick off?
Survive Europe.
Yep.
Get back from Europe in one piece.
Yeah, unlikely, but have a go.
I'll be best on.
Yeah, right.
I hope the other boys aren't watching this because they're gonna roast me if I just claim to best on.
It's going early.
I think for me, just keep developing and building out all of my systems and try and keep developing that online coaching side of it. And then once Jacob gets back,
Yeah, we're moving in together, hey?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not.
I haven't finalised anything.
Shotgun top bunk.
Shotgun left-hand side of the bed.
Yes.
And yeah, I don't know. Just keep doing what I'm doing.
Just enjoying the industry
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
because we're young, very young.
Good.
What about you?
Much the same as Jacob. Survive Europe. If I can get
Yes.
back from Europe still above 80 kilos, I'll be pretty happy. Although I'm starting to doubt it.
You reckon you'll drop below?
Yeah, well, I was up to 83 for a little bit there, and then had a little bit of stuff with the head, and I stopped training for a few weeks and stopped tracking nutrition on that as well. And now I'm back down to below 81 as of today. So
Okay, yeah.
I'll keep feeding that as much as I can over the next 37 days.
Yeah.
And then try and sustain while I'm away.
I love that. That's awesome.
Sick, boys. I'm so glad we got around to this. It's lived up to expectations, and it was as good as I thought it would be. Hopefully the viewers think the same.
Might have to be a part 2.
Yeah, mate.
Maybe.
Mate, I'll bring the potty equipment up to South Yarra Strength.
Yeah,
So
we'll sit
you
there
don't have a
and-
facility at the moment, but I'll bring it up to your house, and we'll just, when you're moving together.
Yeah, that'd be good actually.
Or
In the
hopefully-
lounges.
Hopefully you'll have your own setup by
And then
then.
we'll go to the bloody Albion for some beers after.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely,
Great
mate.
establishment.
Absolutely.
And then a hot chocolate on Sunday morning
Yeah.
for Kennett, and
Only
we'll drink the coffee.
Mate, I'm in.
Beautiful.
Nah, so good to have you down here, boys, and welcome down anytime you want.
Thank you.
Thank you
Totem.
so much.
Loved
Thanks
it.
for listening.
Have a good day.